Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin, and today I have a little bit of a behind the scenes slash what would you do slash pre-grading slash I wore gloves by popular demand slash video. And so this is really cool. So I got this little set in, the first 7 San Francisco Morgan dollars. And for those of you who collect Morgans, you know, well, the San Francisco Mint, those first years, they made a bazillion of them. And then all of a sudden you get into the 80s, the mid 80s, 83 and 84, and they're quite scarce. So what we're going to do is crack this bad boy open and take a closer look and see what we can find out about these coins. Once we get this heavy plastic out of the way, we'll see just how nice these coins are or are not. Right, and the first coin we're going to look at is a 78. Now I'm going to take this out and see which way these coins fall. Now these coins are actually, these old holders are usually designed to have the coin set in them, so if you remove the back, the plastic in back here, they shouldn't fall out, right? They should actually only pop out the front. So this is actually how the old school ones were designed, right? So the coin should actually pop from the back forward because the hole was actually beveled. That's the rare floating coin, right? So that's what we're going to do here. I'm going to take this out and take a closer look at it, and you guys can tell me whether or not you think it's a coin worth getting graded. All right, I'm going to start here. We got the 78, and I'm going to talk through it. Also, you know, at first glance, I would call this coin just a lower grade mint state. At a quick look, a lot of these early 78s have a kind of a mirror-proof like feel to them. There are all kinds of VAMs on these. A VAM is where they have this variety attribution. I'm not looking at VAMs right now. You VAM collectors, if you see something, you can just give a shout out. And there's lots and lots of VAMs on these guys. The coin itself has quite a bit of what I would call like disruption in the field over here on the left side of Liberty's face. So this area here that is between her lips and the stars, you'll see lots of little bit of distracting chatter in that area. Usually not exactly the type of coin I get graded. Now most of the coins that are going to be in the 79, pardon me, the San Francisco Mint coins that are going to be from the first years 78 through 82. Usually the only way I'm getting these graded is if there's some type of rare variety or if it's a really high grade coin. And once again, we've got an early issue here, San Francisco Mint coin. So it's got that beautiful finish to it with almost a little bit of a proof-like finish to it. And don't be too overwhelmed by the proof-like fields, right? Like you don't want to fall in love just with a flash because, you know, for a technical grade, you got to look at the coin a little bit closer and be a little bit more critical. So this coin has lots of contact marks on the cheeks and then in the field right in front. So when you get the coin at the right angle, all those things will pop up and you'll see them. This is another coin that is going to be a lower grade mint state, but has a lot of eye appeal. So not all the coins have the same, what would you say, saleability at the same grade point, right? So you're going to have coins that can all be a technical grade of a 63, and yet you'll have some coins that'll be worth a little bit more than others, or maybe just call it a little bit more saleable. Next up, 1880. This is another coin which just has really high gloss finish to it, a little bit of a proof-like field. This has the giant, I call it the giant S on there. I don't even know technically the different size S's. All I know is that on some of these Morgans, on some of these 80 Morgans, the S looks like it's gigantic, and on others it's just like a normal sized S. I should probably look that up sometime. But when I'm filming, lots of times I'm actually just taking stuff as it rolls, almost stream of conscious. Like, what am I looking at here? What am I seeing? And just talking about it. One of the things you notice on this coin is it has a pretty distracting mark up here, in between the E and her eye or her forehead, and at different angles you get a different look at what that piece of metal looks like. That hit, it's a pretty big hit. Once again, this is a coin that I think would technically be a 63, but has nice eye appeal. And we're going to go forward to the coin that is the hardest the hardest coin to grade. So 81S Morgans, there is no other Morgan dollar that comes as nice as an 81S does. Now, what I would tell you to do is, if you really like just one really high grade Morgan in your set, go start looking at 1881S Morgans that are graded MS65, because a lot of those coins will have the look and the eye appeal of a coin that is otherwise would be graded a 66 or higher, because they're that strict on them. Now, I'm going to use an analogy here, because sometimes I talk about grading and I use the analogy of a strike zone like they have in baseball. And I know not everyone here is a baseball fan. I get it. I don't even follow baseball myself. But the strike zone in baseball is interesting, because the strike zone is the same for everybody, and yet it's different for everybody. What I mean by that is they'll define the strike zone, from the batter's whatever, his knees to his belly. You guys, his knees to his number. You guys will all correct me on that, you baseball fans. But my point is, listen to the point. My point is that although for every individual out there, that's the same definition, but when it comes to someone who's 7 foot tall versus someone who's 5'2", the strike zone is actually a different size. So on Morgan dollars, they actually grade, in most series, they grade the coin based on how nice the coins come. So think of these guys as having a smaller strike zone. They have to be a little bit nicer. All right, the 82S, also 82Ss do come real nice. One of the things that I'm always looking for is a super clean cheek on a coin like this. And this coin has a pretty nice cheek overall. Now this has a really glossy finish. The whole coin has that glossy finish to it. And so this is something to just kind of think about when you look at the different ways that Morgan dollars come. This one has a glossy finish over the entire surface. So you've got that almost PL field, but then the eagle itself doesn't really have that contrast. All right, so like I said, I'm not looking for VAMs, but as I look at this coin, I'm really intrigued by all these little pock marks on the wing that are really standing out to me right now. And maybe I'm just seeing things. Maybe the coin's just struck better than most of them are. All right. So comparing what I mean about the glossy finishes, these earlier coins with the proof-like field, they have more contrast between the surface and the devices. The devices would be the design areas. When in numismatics, when they talk about the term devices, they mean the areas that have design in them, right? So the 82S, a little bit nicer grade, I think, than this 81S. They're all dropping in grade as I clink them into each other, right? But none of those are coins that I would get graded. Now here comes the tricky stuff, right? Because next up we have two coins that are extremely hard to get in higher grade. Now both of these coins, if you get a nice AU version of these coins, they're usually worth getting certified. And the tricky part on these coins is just that question of, okay, when you're looking at the coin, is it going to get a grade that's going to be of a high enough value for me? Also, is it going to straight grade? And when I say straight grade, what I mean by that is, are they going to call it cleaned, or, are they going to call it damaged? Is there some type of a rim bump that they're not going to like, or scratch they're not going to like? And that's really tough, because that is, once again, getting back to sports analogies, that's just kind of a decision that someone makes with their own little, with their own set of tastes, right? So to me, and notice all the little color change here, the white scuffiness that you see on the surface of this coin. This coin has been lightly circulated. Really nice luster. It is not uncirculated. It is almost uncirculated. And it is a coin that, as I look at it in front of me, through my lens and not through my lens, you know, it's the type of coin that I think that they would call an AU55. That is my opinion. I had a few of you reach out, and by a few of you, I mean actually many of you say, hey, go ahead and tell us the grade when you're looking at the coin raw before you send it in. This is a coin I'll probably get certified, and I think it should come back at 55, and here's why. You have just the slightest amount of wear, but where you really start to see the breakup on this coin is in the luster on the cheek in the field. There's a good shot of what I talk about, the color change, right? Look at how white that looks right there. That is some wear. And so to get a 58, you almost need it to be a 60. What I mean by that is the coin itself needs to look uncirculated, but just have the smallest thing. Once you get where you can kind of see, you're probably dropping it to a 55. Okay, next up, the 84S. So this is the real tricky coin, because this is a coin, the 84S is a coin I have never owned an uncirculated example. And it's one of these weird coins that a high grade AU, I don't have my numbers in front of me, but a high grade AU is, I think, about $1,900 or something like that in 58. And an MS60 is like 9,000. It has crazy jumps on it. Now this coin, you know, you got to look at and decide, do you like it better than the other coin or not as much? And it's kind of tricky because this coin has actually some pretty decent proof-like fields to it, which is cool. Cool to me anyways, I mean, because of just the rarity of the date. It does have, this is the thing that worries me, right? So when you see like these little hits on the rim, this is when I talk about people judging a coin a certain way, and the graders decide whether they call something, right? So above the E, there's just a little bump on the rim, but is it big enough to where they're going to call it a rim bump? Now I'm sending this coin in either way because of just the overall rarity and scarcity of the coin and just how nice it is, right? But when you look at it and you see, man, this the heartburn going into this, right? So I want to show something else to you right now. But under the word God, right, you'll see those little lines that are popping up. Right now I've got them held so they're horizontal. You know, that's the type of thing to me that is just wear, right? But it's the type of thing that worries me when you see a little group like that they're going to call it clean. My main goal with this coin would be to get it to come back just a nice even grade. And there's a part of me that thinks I want to send this coin to NGC because I've actually seen, okay, now I'm going to say something that's possibly a lie, so I won't going to say it. I was going to say that I've seen circulated coins with stars on them, and I'm pretty sure that I have. But now, you know, I don't want to say anything that I'm actually wrong on. I know that you're all thinking, well, then Ben, just stop talking. At least that's what the engineer's thinking. So this coin is a coin that I like as a little bit closer to a 58 than a 55. I think that the 84S actually has less wear to it than the 83S does. Now, some of that is, of course, that proof-like field really gives you a different look. But at the end of the day, I'm probably going to say they're both going to come back 55s. There's no 57. There's no 56. They just have the 58s and 55s. That's how they grade these guys. And you guys can let me know what you think on both of those. But really, for the dollar expert, by now you've drooled all over your screen because you know just how tough that 84S is to get. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Leave your comments down below. I'm Ben the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the owl button in the corner. Watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.